Headline, just like we drew it up. Joe Biden's Dark Brandon reacts to Chiefs Super Bowl win. All right, so everybody probably knows already what happened yesterday with the Super Bowl. Well, following the Chiefs' victory, the Democrats are acting like they rigged it because there is a conspiracy theory that the NFL is rigged or scripted, and that Kelsey had to, or I should say the Chiefs had to win because Kelsey's relationship with Taylor Swift, and that after they win the Super Bowl, there's going to be some coming endorsement from the lovely couple and all that jazz. I think it was mostly a PR stunt between Kelsey and Taylor Swift. I don't think their relationship is real. However, we counted, and I think we saw Taylor Swift during the game 12 times. They showed her. So that's more than basically anybody else. I think it's all PR. I don't think that there's a grand conspiracy to have Taylor Swift endorse Joe Biden. But one thing I am seeing now following all of this is that politicians have started identifying themselves as Swifties, and the news has started reporting that Trump, quote unquote, slams Taylor Swift when he didn't, because Trump issued a statement that, Taylor couldn't endorse Joe Biden because I signed the Music Modernization Act or whatever, which helped her. I think the play now is they are actually making it look like Trump is against Taylor Swift because they're trying to rile up her fans against Trump. And, it's really frustrating that there are people on the right who don't care that there is no political upside to the Super Bowl Taylor Swift psyop narrative. They just keep running with it and getting as many views as possible. And the media is laughing all the way to the bank as they try and politicize Taylor Swift's fan base.
Which is crazy because she's going to save our birth rate. I mean, Taylor Swift ushering in a new era of making marriage cool again, making commitment and families great. She went to the Super Bowl with Blake Lively, who's married to Ryan Reynolds and has like 4 kids. I think there is really a missed opportunity to seize this for what it is, which is that women actually like to settle down, and she's trying to seize the opportunity. But I actually didn't watch the Super Bowl at all, so
I didn't watch.
Can't say I was super dedicated to it.
I didn't watch the game either, but the whole thing of like jumping onto this as a rage bait thing, there's some people out there that are just doing it because it's content. I think that that's a terrible, terrible thing, but just because it's bad for America.
And bad for love. People should believe in young love.
Look, I'm very, very adamant about the fact that the goal in the culture war is not to defeat people that disagree with you. It's to convince them to come to your side. When you make a fight about everything, especially about the most popular entertainer in America, arguably in the world, when you make a fight, pick a fight with them over literally nothing, just so that way you can get some likes, you're hurting whatever you say your cause is.
I just want to take a look at this picture of Joe Biden with glowing red eyes because it's become like, when people make pictures of Donald Trump all ripped, some people do it seriously, but for the most part, when you see that flag where Trump is riding a tank with a velociraptor and a machine gun, we know it's meant to be silly and a gag. Okay, and it's kind of like, okay, we get it, it's funny. But having somebody who can barely speak, did you see the latest video from him? Yeah, it's crazy. He's like, I'm gonna run a list, no time. And I'm like, what did he just say? Something about not running through a list or something like that?
Truly, anyone can become president in America if
That's
Joe Biden
true.
can at this level.
So when they make this picture of him and they try and do this meme, it's like it's like a poodle dressed like Superman. You know what I mean?
And his campaign got on TikTok today to court younger voters. Like it's so great.
And they posted this too.
It's awful.
Well, that was yesterday though. They were like, "Who do you think's going to win?" He's like, "If I told you, I'd get in trouble." Biden, if you talk to the press, you get in trouble. And I'm wondering who you get in trouble with. Barack?
Jill.
Well,
she's the real president.
The whole I wonder who you get in trouble with it actually does kind of matter. I like to think that the president is actually can be held accountable. That's one of the bad things about having like the nameless bureaucracy doing things. You don't know where to lay the blame. You can't hold anyone accountable. You can never fire people. So nothing ever changes. Things only continue to go bad or continue down whatever path they are. Or have been on.
Are you a big Taylor Swift fan? Are you a Swiftie?
I'm not a Swiftie.
I do not want to talk about Taylor Swift.
I'm not.
So anyway, back to Joe Biden and the memes.
I was just going to ask him what his perspective is on like the internet and the way they kind of circle around these pop culture icons, whether it's the Dark Brandon meme or Taylor Swift.
Well, the theory is they're trying to use Swift to garner votes for Biden. Also, Swift and Kelsey to sell the vaccines. I don't think I don't buy it.
Yeah, it's just PR. It's a PR marketing stunt. And when people, it's funny because when people say it's a psyop, I'm like, well, yeah, in the same sense that like a commercial for Coke is a psyop. Like a company is trying to advertise a product. The NFL is trying to advertise the NFL to a younger audience who they're losing. Taylor Swift got a whole bunch of Gen Z and like young women to watch the Super Bowl. Yeah. They were trying to make some, and so what's fascinating to me is the psyop narrative actually just accomplished everything they could have hoped for. Yeah. It seriously, all of a sudden everyone who normally doesn't care about quote unquote sports ball, they call it because they like to mock it, are now watching it. And there's media all over the board. And then to top it off, you've got the corporate press saying Donald Trump slams Taylor Swift. Like, you know what, man? Whatever, dude. At this point, you know, like people are chatting. Here's one from Victor. He says, was Travis Kelce manhandling an old man on TV part of the psyop? I want to say this. You guys ready? I don't care that Travis Kelce yelled at a guy. I don't understand why there are people who are like, sports ball is so dumb. Did you see Travis Kelce yell at a guy? I'm like, I don't get it. I really don't. And so that's why
he chest bumped him. He did chest bump him.
I know he's not. I don't think he's a good dude. I mean, whatever. That was a nasty thing to do. But I'm kind of like, why do people who don't follow sports? Why are they so into this?
No, it's not. I think it's not that interesting. Like I've seen that clip so many times today, and it's sort of like, okay, yeah, bad moment for every Super Bowl there is, and probably there are other weird moments at the Super Bowl you could have pulled. Instead, everyone's sort of dogpiling on this same one. I don't know. I'm proud
to say though that I was 2 for 3 in my psychic predictions over what was going to happen at the Super Bowl. So when we had the party and we were talking about it, I'm like, look, I bet $100 on the Chiefs to win. And I won 100, and I think I won $101, something like that. Because it was like they weren't the favorites. I don't know. But I was like, it's really obvious what's going to happen. At the start of the game, the 49ers are up. And I'm like, well, of course. It has to be this way. It has to be that like, oh no. And I'm like, and they're going to show Taylor Swift, and she's going to be like biting her nail and going like, oh geez. And they did it. Called that one. But so it's got to be that they come up from behind. It's got to be at the last minute they score the touchdown to win, and Travis Kelce is going to be the guy to do it. That didn't happen. So I'm only 2 for 3. Although I did, you can maybe add like a 2.5 because I said that Taylor Swift would look all panicked. But the second to last play, they did throw it to Kelce. Kelce almost got it in, but I think it was Hardman. I don't know. I don't know a lot about football. All I know is that they ended up winning. And now the expectation is there's going to be some kind of endorsement. And I believe what is likely going to happen, what the strong possibility, they're going to invite the Chiefs to the White House after winning the Super Bowl. I'm willing to bet Taylor Swift is there. I think she'll probably go with Kelce, and that will be their PR opportunity and press event. That being said, the only way any political poll comes out of that is if Trump supporters attack Kelce and Taylor Swift, which they are doing with zealous fervor.
And they'd have to plan that visit. I don't know how. Again, I'm not the most avid sports fan here, but I don't know how quickly that invitation gets extended because she's on tour for the rest of the year. So
well, maybe she doesn't come.
They'd have to plan around Taylor Swift. What I really didn't want to happen was for her to perform at the Democratic National Convention in the summer, but luckily she's in Europe then, because I just thought that'd be so annoying.
I don't think she's going to get super political.
I don't think she's going to endorse this year. Yeah. I really don't.
The only way is by them using her. They're using her as a polarization, so they're managing to get, if all the Trump people attack her,
they're waving.
Then this makes her a magnet for the other side.
They're waving a red flag at the right, yelling "Toro, Toro."
Yeah.
And the right's like, I'm going to do exactly what Democrats want me to do, and make a big political issue with a pop star for no reason. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, jeez.
I felt like she only got involved in politics was when all of the stuff went around the internet where it was like she's secretly super conservative and she's whatever.
Yep.
So it was a big show of coming out being, no, I support the right guy. Like she released that one song where it was like way late to the gay rights and gay marriage initiative. It's okay to be gay. It just it made no sense. And I think now there's no point. She's making a ton of money this year. She's in the headline. She doesn't need to come out of any sort of political closet. She's already come out enough. It would be pointless.
Look, I'll say this as we're wrapping up the opening segment. I would not be surprised. I'll just say this. In my opinion, I lean towards the NFL's rigged in some way. Mm-hmm. And the reason I feel that way is it's not the same. People are saying it's like WWE. And I'm like, no, I don't think that. I think it's more so that the refs can just push the direction they want, and they can have a tendency towards what they want to happen but it's not as easy as making it a script. You can't guarantee dude catches the ball.
Yeah.
Because, so that being said, they can strongly influence the outcome. The coaches can tell people what to do. They can do it or not do it. And they can get pretty close to what they want to happen. So, out here in the West Virginia, Maryland, and Virginia tri-state, all Ravens fans out here.
Of course.
And the only thing I hear from all of them was that it was rigged. Because they were like, how did the Ravens play so well all year? And then all of a sudden against the Chiefs, they just were like fumbling morons. And so they all think it's scripted, it's rigged or whatever.
Look at the Ravens' history against the Patriots. It is not rigged, or at least not.
But
the
this year you're talking about?
Maybe no. I'm talking about just historically the Ravens against the Patriots.
What I'm saying is, this people who are in the air who live out here.
Yeah, they say
they were like, we saw some of the best play the Ravens ever had this year, but all of a sudden, when it comes to the Chiefs, they were bumbling morons who couldn't figure anything out and lost. And there's even that viral video. I don't know which team it was. I think it's the Chiefs from October, where one player is running towards. All I know is the player got the ball. One player runs and then turns left and tackles the guy without the ball, and it became a huge scandal because they were like, "What the just happened?"
Yeah.
And a bunch of people are like, "I'm a big football fan and I know exactly what this means." But even news outlets and sports outlets and commentators were like, "Why did he just not tackle the guy with the ball?" I think it was who was it who had the ball? Was it Mahomes? I don't know, but a lot of people listening, they probably saw the story because this clip goes viral. And then yesterday there was another clip that went viral where the TV wrongly said it was the first down when it was the second. But that's not a conspiracy. That's a bad graphic.
That was the other way around. They said it was 2nd and 3, and it was 1st and 5.
No. Specifically, there was one play where it was 2nd and 1, but the TV said 1st and 10.
Oh, okay.
And everyone was like, whoa,
That's
whoa.
a miscall. Yeah.
No, that was the TV got it wrong.
Yeah.
If you look at the ESPN play-by-play, everything was done proper. All the calls were right. So I kind of lean towards it was rigged. Not that Joe Biden had anything to do with it, but
But are they all rigged? Is the question? Is every Super Bowl ultimately rigged?
I don't
The
think
Patriots fan over here is like, no.
I don't think so.
I was reading something that said since around like Super Bowl 32 or whatever, it used to be that games were relatively decisive. Like one team played really well and just won. And now it's always a nail biter. It's always a back and forth.
Better for ratings that way.
Edge of your seat's more entertaining. And the other thing, too, is people point out that the NFL is a sports entertainment company, not a sporting company. And it's because of the way they do, they say it's because of the way they handle pay, that they're all like one company and they share pay or something like that. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.